Hello everybody, my name is Ratnaz, and welcome to This Week in Mythic Plus. This week's affixes are Tyrannical, Raging, Volcanic, and of course, Encrypted. Pretty good push week for Tyrannical as far as they go. Let's see if MDT's got it. Yeah, Tyrannical, Raging, Volcanic, and I've got my keystone somewhere in here as well. Yeah, Tyrannical, Raging, Volcanic. So this week, Tyrannical is going to be the big thing that will slow you down if you are trying to do like push keys, pushing your score. The best way to counteract that is build for single target damage, build for speeding up the dungeon that way, and or pulling trash onto bosses. Obviously with Raging that can be a little bit scary, but taking some pulls onto bosses, this is definitely the week for it. The other thing to think about is the Raging factor. Using Soothes effectively is a valuable way to beat this affix, especially, so like in DOS, for instance, if you don't have a Soothe effect, the Enraged Spirits, you need to play very differently against. You need to make sure that they're not going to cast Rage while they're enraged, or you're going to die. So that makes that a lot harder if you don't have it. But luckily, it's Hunters, Rogues, Druids that can Soothe, and Hunters and Rogues both pretty popular. So hopefully, if you have one of those people, make sure that they are soothing, especially these kind of mini boss sized enemies. When you're doing just sort of a normal pull, right? Like if you're doing something like this pull, there's not really anything to soothe in here, right? Like you just, I don't know, you kill the mobs, 10 of them will be enraging all at once. Soothing one of them isn't even a better global for killing the pack than just doing another AoE damage global. But for a pull like this one, Soothing this guy is pretty valuable if you can. The Warlord, anytime there's a Lieutenant mini-boss style enemy, Soothing the Death Speakers, right, those sorts of things, pretty valuable. DOS in particular, a pretty important one to have Soothes for. Another thing to think about with Raging is that there are some enemies that apply dots to you. And the way dots work with Raging is they actually snapshot off of the Raging effect. So if you're fighting these dogs, for instance, and you have 3 stacks of Jagged Swipe, and then one of them goes Raging, and then applies another Jagged Swipe to you, the entire bleed stack on you will update to be Raging flagged, and so you'll be taking way more damage when you go from 3 non-Raging stacks to 4 Raging stacks. So do be careful of that. Consider kiting, consider using stuff like AoE stuns, binding shot, all that kind of stuff for the end of the pull. This week, back in DOS, for instance, you could consider using the Night Faerns at the end of the pull rather than the start of the pull. Just one of the ways to kind of play against the affix. It's sort of the opposite of what you do on like Sanguine weeks, where you instead want to use everything at the start of the pull. Last dungeon thing I want to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about Solia's Gambit and how to route in here. So there's a couple different ways to attack Gambit. One thing that some people like that I'm not a huge fan of, but that can make the dungeon feel better as well, is to literally just get a woe buff and skip to the, like, so you just go in here, grab woe, and then just like, maybe you grab this patrol as well whenever it came, or this patrol whenever it came around, right? And then you literally just skip all the way through, maybe grab these guys or maybe don't, and just go into boss and lust immediately. Gets you your first lust on cooldown early, but the problem is, I haven't really been able to find a good third lust doing this at all anyway, so it's not something I think necessarily is a huge optimization. But if you do that, then yeah, you could just keep clearing through the dungeon and then come back and just kill Murlocs until you're done at the end. But if you want to do a more standard thing, if you want to fight stuff in the Murloc area first, my recommendation is to jump down and head left, and then you just kind of always have a safe spot to your side. And if you pull every pack that's on the left, and you get the 2 patrolling little Murloc packs, and then you go through the rest of the dungeon, you grab all this stuff, you fight everything here, and you go to the last room, you can skip this 1 pack, and you can get almost all your count from doing this. But you'll notice you're not quite done yet. So if you're doing this, if you hug left, you get every pack on the left. You also need to add either this Goliath, this pack, like 1 more pack, right? 1 more thing while hugging left, and you're good. It can't be these guys, but it can be any other thing, and this will get you your full count. Or of course you could pull the Starseer, but almost everybody is skipping this thing. Actually, this doesn't even get you count, so it's bad count, and it's slow, and it's dangerous. So Literally just hug the wall, avoid this thing. Do not pull this mob. It is pain. So that's some Gambit stuff. Just kind of understanding how this works. It makes it pretty easy. It's pretty easy to remember, right? Just hug left, get literally everything that's hugging left, plus 1 pack, and then you're good. All right, that's all I got for you this week. Hope you have some good keys this week. It's a great week to push some Tyrannical score. We don't know how much longer Season 3 will be out for, so if you are relying on, if you're aiming for something like Cryptic Hero, now is the time to start making sure that, like, at the end of good weeks, you're in that cutoff. I think there's a good chance that we're going to get to another good Tyrannical week, but it's not for a while, right? Bursting Volcanic. I mean, we're talking about a month and a half. It's not impossible that this is the last good Tyrannical week of the season. I mean, I guess Sanguine Storming, but still, it's not impossible. So do grab whatever score you need if you need it now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.